You know how Speed Academy does it? They say, oh, in this episode we're going to talk about cams, cut, intro, and then the talking. Want to do it like that?
Exactly like that. I'll literally just copy that, what you just did, it's already been recording, and I'll just use that.
Yeah. Guys, well, I don't know if you guys know, I just put cams in the Miata, and I went with the 2.2 drag Cartel cams. And the reason I went with those cams is because for an all-motor setup and no higher compression, I think everybody was saying that those cams are the ones to get. So yeah, we're gonna be basically comparing the gains with the cams on 93 octane. We're gonna be comparing the E85 gains and comparing it all to like the base cams that I had, like the factory cams. Basically, my cams is a 2008 TSX cams, and they are basically the most aggressive factory cam you can get for the TSX engine, and those are really good. But just to get a little bump in power and durability with the springs and whatnot, I chose the 2.2 drag Cartel cams. Everybody recommended them. A lot of people make good power once they go turbo, once they go nitrous, or once they go any power adder, and those are really good. Also, I want to mention that cams and springs do nothing if you don't got a good tune. So my tuner of choice is Javi Tune. He's very well known in Miami, South Florida. I think people know him in Puerto Rico. He's the man in Miami when it comes to Hondas. I don't think you can get any better tuner for Hondas in Miami or South Florida for that. And you need anything tuned, need any advice, hit him up. His Instagram, Javi Tune.
It's gonna be right there.
It's gonna be right there. Yeah, and let's go over the numbers. The baseline horsepower from my factory cams was 223 horsepower, and let me check real quick the torque figures. The torque figures was like about in the 170s with the factory cams, and the 2.2 drag Cartel cams, according to everybody I was looking, it increases the torque and it increases horsepower in the top and in the bottom end. So just the cams and the tune with 93 octane, we're talking about 231 horsepower compared to 223. For an all-motor setup, that's a significant bump. Taking into consideration in Florida is hot as hell, and at that day particularly, the humidity was pretty high, and it was kind of raining as well. To me, that's good. That's a good setup. 2,000 pound car, 231 horsepower, will kill it. According to Javi, the K24 likes E85. It runs cooler. It's happier, and we went E85. So with E85, we went up to 238 horsepower and basically 184 foot-pounds of torque. That's pretty much 240 horsepower on a whole day and good condition. So, and honestly, after driving it on E85, the engine feels so smooth, and I had to upgrade the injectors to 550s, and pretty straightforward switch there. It's just drain the old fuel, put the injectors, tune it, and you're on your way. I would like to mention that the 231 horsepower was with the 550 injectors. So yeah. Also guys, your tuner, I think, is one of the most important things when it comes to motorsport racing and stuff like that, right, Gio?
How the car runs in general.
Exactly. My boy Gio is gonna get tuned. We're gonna throw a party. It's been what, like 2 years? 2 years without a tune. This guy, bro.
I gotta change out the fucking.
But yeah, he's gonna get tuned. Unfortunately, not by Javi Tune, because he owns a Miata with a 1.6 turbo, Mega Sport, all that.
I have to go to like a hairdresser salon.
All that stuff. Well, you guys are gonna get to know Gio and his car in this channel, so that's gonna be a fun one. Well, on the dyno sheet, you could see a torque dip once the VTEC kicks in. You can see.
Did someone just say VTEC kicking in? No way.
Yeah. But you can see an actual torque dip on the sheet, and you can contribute that for the lack of basically, plenum, plenum air, that's available to the engine once it kicks in. Because I have an intake that's kind of small, but to fix that dip, you would essentially have to get a bigger plenum. I think Skunk 2 sells a bigger plenum, a 2-liter plenum spacer. That's what I'm gonna have to get to basically take care of that. But if you don't want to get that, that's fine, because after talking to David, a friend of mine, Javi, and basically a bunch of Honda guys, they specified that if you're going back and forth on the rev range and you don't actuate the VTEC, or deactivate the VTEC, or however you guys want to call it. Correct me on the comments if you know the correct terminology. If you go back and forth in the rev range and you don't deactivate it, that dip is not there, because the engine, it's basically the valves, once the VTEC kicks in, they open up for a longer period of time, so it requires more air, so the air is not there with a smaller intake plenum. So with a bigger intake plenum, you almost eliminate that and you have a better curve, right? So what I'm gonna have to do to eliminate is get a bigger plenum, like a 2-liter plenum spacer that I think Skunk 2 sells. So yeah, that's how you fix it, because once you guys see on the dyno sheet compared to baseline horsepower, you're gonna see in the bottom end it increases torque in the bottom end and on the top end, torque and horsepower. It kind of, if I didn't have that torque dip, it would be more linear type of power, and you can kind of see how we gain power everywhere. So yeah, man, that's pretty much on those cams, and I'm pretty happy with the E85 more than anything, believe it or not, even though all my friends are criticizing me on, bro, there's not enough locations for E85, blah blah blah, whatever. E85 is the way to go for me right now, and I'm loving it. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me what you want to watch, tell me what you want me to post up.